Don't wear the same colors so you don't get picked here. All right, so we're here. We're going back into our hip bump series. So coming up, working on the sweeps, submissions, and options from this series, right? So I'm here, I'm fighting with Jordan, we're moving around, right? I get Jordan to lean back just that little bit, whether it's off a push and a pull, whether it's off a hip chain. I'm just trying to get Jordan to where he has to posture up quickly and aggressively. All we're gonna do when that happens is I'm gonna follow him up. I'm gonna post the opposite hand of my foot. So if you post left hand, it's right foot. You need to make the L's on your hand, do it, go ahead. Opposite sides though. So, once I'm here, my armpit goes over his shoulder. That was the biggest mistake we were making on Tuesday was, a lot of us were sitting up and like going this way for some reason. When I sit up on this, I'm coming up and into him to where my armpit is over his shoulder and my cup is in his chest. As we're here, I'm going to push this arm across, kick this leg under, kick this leg over, settle in to mount. So we're here. Boom. I'm moving, I'm shaking, I'm bumping. He postures up, I follow. Post. Explode the hips up. This leg kicks down. This hip bumps over. This arm crunches through. Here. Through. Now, when you get to mount, base, cross your feet, curl your heels to your butt. That's how you secure a good tight mount. A lot of you guys try to go like Saturday Night Ride and all this stuff where you're like grapevining the legs. Not as effective as just crossing your heels, pulling them to your butt, and allows you to move better. So we're here. Boom, I'm shaking and moving. I pull him down. Boom, up, crunch, sweep. Finish. Questions on this from Tuesday? It is a simple but not easy sweep. The overall mechanics of it, pretty simple. Overall application, not easy. Nothing? One more time for posterity. Boom. We're shaking, we're moving. Boom. I come up, through, base. Ready? Driller out. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm here. I got Jordan. We're working. I push, I pull. He sits up, I come up, but Jordan doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? So he's going to drive into me, try to wrap around. Boom. Great. I appreciate that greatly. All we're going to do, I'm going to switch my hips to get on this opposite side hip here. As I do that, I'm going to look for this wrist to grab it on the outside here. Now, when I grab this wrist, I'm trying to push it back into my hand here. I'm not reaching this hand in to find it. This hand's pushing back. So when I'm here, I sit up. He starts to drive me down. This hand sneaks into the elbow. I come here. I get to the hip. Reclose your guard here. I saw a lot of us trying to do this open guard. This hand pushes to the wrist here. Elbow to my chin. And once I'm here, I'm turning not just with my arms, but with my chest and back. The goal is police brutality, put the back of his wrist on the back of his neck. Now, one detail to tighten that up quickly, throttle his wrist forward. Look at the difference on this throttled and unthrottled. So unthrottled, I'm here. Now Jordan's ready to back, right? Throttled, much different, much quicker, much more I need out of here tap. That is the goal of that wrist throttle. It locks everything in place, then you're forcing it past its flexion point here. So boom, I sit up on the other side, boom, I'm coming up. He grabs me back down, I get on that elbow. Get to my opposite hip, which is gonna help pop that wrist out. I make this wrist, find my other wrist. Throttle, turn, slowly, always, because his hand can be trapped under you. So always when we're pulling submissions, slow and steady wins that race. We're here, up. This hand feeds. As we come down, we get to that opposite hip. Realize, if you just get to flat, you're wrong. You have to be on that hip and on those ribs. That's the difference. Twist and turn. Questions on this? What questions do we have?
Monkey grips only.
Monkey grips only. If you grip with your thumbs, just break them yourself. It's much quicker and efficient to learn that lesson. And you're like, Dustin, it can't be that bad. I've seen it. So what happens is when they break your grip, this part of your thumb snaps in half and you get one of those weird thumb only casts up to your elbow. Sucks a lot. Don't do it. Monkey grips only. Everyone, thumbs in, clap your hands. Dumb monkeys clap without thumbs. That's what we need to do here today, all right? And you're like, Dustin, why do you say that? Because you've heard it 2 years now? You remember it every time, though, don't you? That's why I say dumb shit like that. What questions do we have on this? Hit it a couple more times. We're here. Boom, I sit them up. I come up with them. This hand reaches in, and I get to that opposite hip. Wrist to wrist. Throttle, point, twist. We're here, pull, push, I come up. Boom, get to this wrist in, get to that hip. Find the wrist, get it back. Now, a couple of you guys were like reaching this way with it. Make sure when we're here, I'm trying to get his arm bent to that 90. That way when I throttle the wrist, it's already in tight, isn't it? You're tight here, that makes the twist almost unnecessary. Alright? Questions on this?
How do you deal with them grabbing?
Boom. Let's say Jordan doesn't suck at jiu-jitsu, right? I get here, I get to this hip, and he's going to grab something, right? Like that's the natural reaction. Get your hand right behind, because he's going to grab my belt, my gi, whatever he is. I'm just going to get my wrist there. Boom. Taking it towards his hip pocket, basically, is the easiest way. Because if he's here and he's gripping real tight here, boom. You may have to shrimp and move. If that doesn't work, that's actually where we're going next, is if they set a really good grip. Where do you go? How do you attack here? Things of that nature. But for this one, obviously, sometimes just a simple grip break to get you where you need to be. Other questions on this?
Sure.
All right, 1, 2, 3. All right, so let's say I'm here. Things are going well. I grip, we sit up, but he body locks and we come here, right? And I go for here, and I get to this hip, but he's either got a really good body lock, or I'm getting here and he gets a good grip on my pants. Either one of these, not ideal to deal with, right? Like this is inconvenient for me. So I'm here, I'm on that hip, but it's hard to get this broke, right? All we're gonna look to do is, instead of trying to take the arm this way, we're gonna dig the other hand, goes from here to here. I'm gonna use this hand, comes out to front. I'm gonna get to that hip, and then I'm gonna collapse this knee on top of his shoulder here, putting his wrist in my ear. Once we're here, I'm going to look for the back of his elbow, pinch, and go to that reverse armbar. So we're here, I sit up, I come back down, right? I get to this hip and I'm trying to go here and it's just not working. He's got a grip, he's in the way, there's 1,000 reasons, right? I dig here. Once we're here, you're in. Yeah, if you can, locking here. The bigger detail here, guys, is this knee pressure has to stay on top of the shoulder. Because if Jordan starts to posture up here, it starts to make my leg difficult. So I have to keep this down to be able to finish that reverse arm. So I'm here, boom, I come up, I'm looking for this, I get to my hip. It's not working. So all I'm doing is switching my hands, guys. This hand's fed in, I feed the other hand. This hand's framing, boom, I'm here. This knee collapses tight and I'm pinching my knees here, extending him away. Because I want his arm as straight as possible with this right in the crook of my neck. Once we're here, I can either grip here Or for those of you in the longer limb gang, C-cup grip on top of the elbow, push. Because you may not have the leverage to fully pull here, so you may have to go reinforced grip here. Whole time, we're pinching this to our neck here. Now, for as far as the elbow placement goes, everyone feel the back of your elbow. Feel that weird V where your tricep comes into the back of your arm? I want the blade of my wrist or the cup of that C cup right above that C right there, that V. That's gonna be where the pressure is. Because what I'm trying to do is get you your elbow to hit that flex point, and then I'm just pushing it back to where you start to feel that like hyperextension pain. If you've ever hyperextended your elbow, that's what we're trying to recreate here. So I'm here, boom, I sit up, I come back down. It's not working for whatever reason. You suck at jujitsu, he's good at jujitsu, it can happen, right? Boom, we switch our hands, frame, knee on top. Get this arm up, set your grip, finish. Questions on this?
Can I see the detail on you?
Yes, so I'm here. What you're looking for is once you get them to here, right? The goal is I'm looking to C-cup the back of that elbow. One, so I can manipulate it, because I need his thumb pointing down. Similar to an armbar where you want thumbs up, it's thumbs down for this one, because it's the reverse. Here, and all I'm looking to do is reinforce a put. I'm trying to push his elbow to the mat with this hand. This hand is reinforcement. So you can go wrist, here, you know, whatever type of grip there helps you reinforce this hand. This is the operative hand, this is support staff. Does that make sense?
You really like that elbow grip though?
I do in this position only.
Okay.
Every other one of these, I'm trying to get to this grip. The problem is, you're in a weird mechanical position to do this. So that's why I come to this grip now. Almost every other one of these, I prefer this grip, the S grip.
Thanks.
That is a preferred, not right or wrong type thing.
Okay.
Boom, you can feed your hand in. So if I'm here pushing on that, you can just feed this hand in and use that to kind of help yourself pull that forearm down. Like I said, you can grip, grab somewhere up there, help this hand out. Because realize, even in that position, he's going to be wiggle worming and trying to bend that arm and snake it back. So all you're trying to do is get it straight, get it secure, and pull. Like it's not this isn't a wide window where you can go slow, if that makes sense. This is one of those moves that has a little bit of the element of surprise and a little bit of oomph behind it. Where like an arm bar, you kind of take your time, you walk your feet, you do it all. This one, once you get that knee on top, you have 2 seconds to get this, or they're wiggle worm in their arm and you got to go somewhere else.
Hips are in the same position as like you're getting before.
Yeah, everything, hip position wise, you're the same. Closing if you can, but if not, that top knee has to be heavy on his back. So when I'm here on Jordan, I'm not prioritizing this over this. I want this heavy on his back. The point of my knee should be right on the cap of his shoulder. And that's going to be where you're here, you know. Find yourself a grip that you like and you feel strong. Other questions on this one? Driller out. 1, 2, 3. So I'm here. I pull him down. He sits up. I come up. He starts to drive back into me. I don't appreciate that. All I'm going to do, this hand's going to come behind, looking for his tricep. I'm going to collapse my elbow as he drives me forward. Drive him back through. The big detail we were messing up on Tuesday on this is we were here. And we were, for whatever reason, trying to point our elbow at the fucking bags. And I could not figure out for the life of us. I'm collapsing this. Like I'm trying to crunch his head, almost like an army guillotine or something. Like that's the type of crunch I'm trying to come here. Even if I don't trap this arm, it's crunching that way. To get that head down so that he rolls this way. That, and I have to kick my top leg through. When I come this way, this leg is where the power comes from. I'm kicking back this way, here. This is kicking out as much as it can, but it's in the odd position. This has to do the work. I have to kick that hip over and get back here. So when I'm here with Jordan, boom, I sit up. back down, and through. Once you're here, the only thing you got to be careful about is getting this hand trapped a little bit. So once you hit mount, get your hands based, surf for a second, and then work. Questions on this one? Like I said, I'm here. I post, I come up. As I'm falling back down, this elbow collapses his head and neck down. Come through, rolling. Once you get here, base, settle back into mount, slap towards the front. Questions? Like I said, the two biggest details on this. Hinge that elbow to collapse that head and shoulder, kick that leg through. That is where we were messing up Tuesday. I don't know if we overthought it or I explained it poorly. We'll assume I explained it poorly. Pinch that elbow, kick through.
The leg that's not kicking through, should that be like kind of on the ground, like flat?
I don't want to drop it all the way to the mat, but I'm looking for it to be kind of on that thigh. So it's not like we're a scissor sweep where I'm hip dropping it completely, but I'm looking for it to be here. Trying to just collapse and block more than anything. So we're like on a scissor sweep, I would say, hey, drop it and really kick here. This is more of just blocking him from basing. So I'm here. Does that make sense? Then once you get here, then you can work. Other questions?
Just holding it there.
It's a block and then kick over. Because at that angle, you're not going to have enough power to kick his base out. You will have enough momentum to get that through. That's the difference is. And when I go scissor sweep, right, this leg's in position for that. Where we're not here, it's posted and at the wrong angle to cut through. So I'm using it as a block because this leg has the angle and the momentum to kick in. So that's why this is a block more than it is the sweeping leg. So when you hear me talk about operative and accessory, operative is the part of your body that is doing the bulk of the work in this. So for this move, the two operative parts are that elbow pinch and the kick through. This hand's free, for the most part, addressing problems as needed. This leg's blocked. Does that make sense? So make sure we're focusing on those two big operative parts, that elbow pinch and that kick through. Questions? One more time for posterity's sake. I'm here. Boom, he sits up. Boom, I'm here. Collapse, block, through. We're here. Sit up. Collapse, block, through. Driller out. 1, 2, 3.